All right. Good morning, everyone, and happy is a Tuesday morning, and delighted to be here with another Rogue Mornings. Unfortunately, V is not going to be joining us today. However, we were able at the very last minute to get a very special guest, the immortal, the one, the no other, Hulk Hogan is with us today. So Hulk, how are you?
Well, let me tell you something, CJ. It's great for me to be here, brother. And let me tell you something, one thing else, brother. The thing about Rogue Money and all the Rogue Money maniacs and Hulkamania, brother, running wild. I see the red and white, and we combine with the red and yellow, brother. And let me tell you something else, brother, that we are running wild, brother. I I just had to throw that out there, brother. Let me tell you something, brother. Oh, brother. You probably seen my video on Gawker, brother. That was not me in the sex tape, brother. That wasn't me, brother. What you gonna do when the largest gorilla in the world runs wild on alt media, brother? Let's get into it, brother. What's
Oh
going on?
man, that is, you know, we have to do that from time to time, V, with all the
Yeah,
craziness
man.
and
Dude,
news and that.
I woke up this morning, CJ, I just felt this gloomy spirit, just this gloom hanging over this country. And I woke up, man, and I just hear that song playing in the background in my head. It's like, "Hello, darkness, you're my friend." Like, whoa, what's going on in this country, dude? Oh man, it's one of those days, man. One of those days. Anyway, guys, roguemoney.net.
You have to take time to laugh. You
You,
have to take
you
time to
have
laugh.
to,
You have to.
otherwise we'll lose it, bro. We'll totally lose it. So, folks, you can check us out, roguemoney.net. Follow us on Facebook, Rogue Money. Rogue Money on Twitter, Rogue Money on DTube, Rogue Money on Steam It. And CJ, are we in Gab yet?
Yeah, I'll follow up with you tomorrow on that.
I have a better chance of getting a dinner reservation at Peter Luger Steakhouse in Brooklyn than I do of getting on Gab.
There is an open invite somewhere, V, in one of my folders on my inbox. I think there is
Yeah,
one there. I need to go find it.
got it. So, um, anyway, check us out on every single podcasting app known to mankind. A lot of great articles, a lot of great things, and of course, most importantly, subscribe and share this channel with friends and family. It's vital. It's important. Nobody puts out content like we do. On a content basis, there's nobody that could touch us, period. There's only a handful of people that do what we do, guys like Linda Paul, Jim Willie, a few of the characters that are out there that do what we do. But somebody who's based in the United States, there's nobody else coming close. Everybody else is international or outside of the country. So subscribe, support us, click the like button, hit the thumbs up, hit that notification bell. All these are the things you'll have to do in order for YouTube to even recognize us. And again, if you get unsubscribed mysteriously, which often happens a lot, just subscribe again, please. I gotta love the algorithms. Anyway, also check out our sponsor. MyFreedomNow.us and MyGoldUSB can all be found on one site, one place, the one-stop shop. It is my God, I just went blank for a second. RemainCalm.net. RemainCalm.net. Get your personal funding. Okay, if you need funding for up to $600,000, you can go there. You need to get your gold USB, you go there. You need to get your credit fixed. You need to get your assets protected so bankers and lawyers don't sue you and come after your stuff. Go to RemainCalm.net. Don't freak out. Remain Calm. It is the one-stop shop for total freedom, total protection. Let these guys show you how to navigate. Bankruptcy is not the way to go. And, going wrong with whatever the attorneys and letting these judgments happen against you is not the way either. They can literally take your house from underneath you. So in order for that to stop, RemainCalm.net. RemainCalm.net. Get that gold USB. Very important, especially with all the crap that's going on with privacy. Gold USB is super important. Silverback will be also around the corner. We're still working on it. When that's released, that's going to be the monster system right there. With that all out of the way, CJ, what's going on, brother?
I think a little bit of everything's going on right now, V.
Yeah, it's nuts, bro. It's nuts. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, didn't you feel that foreboding? It's like something's hanging in the air, CJ. I can't quite make of it.
Yeah, it is. There is something there, and I imagine that it is the connection between the amount of anxiety, the amount of events that have occurred in September in
Yeah.
regards to. I mean, yeah, so many events that have occurred this month, whether it's the raging fires, the hurricanes, the earthquakes, so much negative energy out there right now. V.
There's a lot of negative energy, man. It's so many things that have happened, so many things that occurred. There's turmoil in Florida, turmoil in Texas, turmoil in Washington D.C., turmoil in the economy. These idiots. Nationally, there's turmoil. Everywhere you look is chaos. So one thing's going to happen. Either something's got to give, and something will give. Then you're hearing all this stuff about, hey, there's plots and all sorts of devious designs against Donald Trump. People are talking about these things. So I don't even know where to start, Siege. I really don't know where to even start because just so many things, man. So many things.
Well, yeah, we started down there a little bit, so let's talk about the month of September. And you touch base on a lot of these already, but you know the last the full eclipse that we just recently had, and its meaning, and then we witnessed the things that have occurred since that period, and the amount of natural major disasters that have occurred
Yeah.
here in the United States. You take a look at the entire majority of the West Coast, whether it's California, Oregon. I mean, all these states are literally like on fire right now. You take a look at the most recent the sun and how active it's become again with the recent solar flares that are affecting the earth. It just a lot of things happening right now. V.
Dude, it's a lot of crap happening, and I think we'll just get into the list. We have 27 things that crap's happening throughout the world. Siege, I think I'll take the first few. You can finish up with the other few, and we'll go through the whole entire list, man. Because Siege, we're officially going to call this month of September the WTF month. Like what the
Right.
f? Seriously,
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously.
WTF? Here's the deal. Here's the breakdown. California is on fire. Oregon is on fire. Washington is on fire. British Columbia is on fire. Alberta is on fire. Montana is on fire. Nova Scotia is on fire. Greece is on fire. Brazil is on fire. Portugal is on fire. Algeria is on fire. Tunisia is on fire. Greenland, of all friggin' places, is on fire. The Sakha Republic of Russia is on fire. Jeez, how is this even possible? Siberia is on fire.
Texas is underwater. India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh experience record monsoons, massive death tolls. Sierra Leone, Niger experienced massive floods, mudslides, death in the thousands. Italy, France, Spain, Switzerland, Hungary, Poland, Romania, Bosnia, Croatia, and Serbia are crushed to death with a grip of triple digit heat wave. Southern California continues to swelter in triple digit heat and shows no sign of letting up. It's usually chilly in the month of August. The city of San Francisco shatters all-time record of 106 degrees, while it reaches 115 degrees south of the city in Northern California. Yellowstone volcano is starting to have lots of swarms, over 2,300 tremors since June.
That makes me feel good.
It makes me feel really good. 5.3 earthquake rumbles Idaho. Japan earthquake 6.1. Mexico earthquake 8.2. Imminent tsunami. The hurricanes Harvey, Irma, Jose is off the coast. Katia, I mean,
8 more for me.
WTF September is the right way to coin it, V.
Oh man! Last but not least, the cherry on top of the Sunday here of this beautiful plethora of wonderful chain of events. Last but not least, an X10 coronal mass ejection, a CME, a solar flare 2 nights ago, the highest recorded solar flare ever, an X10 CME, highest recorded solar flare ever, and that's starting to really ratchet up. something is going on. Now, people will say, this is all the cabal. They are controlling weather to the minute.
Yeah.
They're controlled all of this. They're using a super weapon because they're the circle jerking civilization, and what they have done is they circle jerk themselves into higher levels of technology, and they're doing every single thing. Look, I know about HARP, I know about energy directed weapons. Okay. When you're having this much crap going on at once, it's not all just the bad guys. I think there's some serious crap going on here that can be explained via physics and nature at this point, man. And let's not forget the Almighty who is on the throne, who rules and reigns for all eternity. He's still in charge and calling the shots because he is the man with the master plan. But
Right. And with that, I think we should just end the show. Let's just.
that's it. That's it.
It's officially
Nice
time,
knowing
people.
all of you.
Go to the store and buy your cat food. Okay, it is time.
It's not. Folks, everything I said is wrong. Everything that Siege and I were talking about is hogwash now. We just go to the store. What's your favorite brand? I like Whiskas.
Whiskas. I don't know. Is that that's the wet cat food,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Not the
You-
dry.
Fancy Feast. That's the best one.
Fancy Feast. That's
Fancy
it.
Feast.
Fancy
That's
Feast.
it, folks. Be smart. Go get yourself some Fancy Feast. And this broadcast was brought to you by Purina.
Well, never
Oh, man.
let a crisis go to waste, because we're going to see the opportunities
gonna
come
buy
out in
Purina.
droves.
Folks, this is what you need to do. Go out there, buy the Purina cat food, and then buy Purina stocks, and then short it. You will make a killing right before the whole world goes kaboom.
You know, and yeah, so they're coming out of the woodwork right now. Al Gore's, attributing this
Oh,
to,
God.
to global warming and everything else. It's way beyond my pay grade, B, but according to a lot of people, not only is our solar system, traveling through right now,
Correct.
and the effects of the sun and this different projectiles as the sun goes into different areas of outer space, that's what usually attributes to the sun's activity. So
Right.
perhaps we're entering a different portion of the galaxy, whatever it's called, that yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But to be part of this, to watch it happening, to watch it unfold, to try to cover it the way that we do, trying to make sense of it all, it's very important to listen to different perspectives. And recently we had some people that asked a question in Facebook, on our blog here on YouTube, in regards to some of the contrast of the different opinions that we have with our guests. And let me say, I think it's important to have that. We have to have dialogue. We have to have diversity and opinion. Doesn't mean you have to stick to one paradigm and worry so much about who's right and who's wrong, versus more so that we need to keep an eye on a multitude of things right now. So I think it's very healthy to have those conversations and have difference in opinion. B.
Absolutely correct, man. It's we're not the be all end all of all things information. Nobody has that monopoly. Geez, if you and I had that monopoly on information, dude, we'd be, my God, we'd be billionaires. We'd be billionaires. And we'd have the most phenomenal media company on planet Earth. No one has a lock in it. Okay, if somebody has an absolute lock on information, and they're like, and they're, look, nobody who is, I'm gonna be frank here. Hopefully that people understand what I'm trying to say. If you have a lock on information, an absolute mastery of it, you're like the man who's connected with all the sources, and you're coming out there like 100% or 90 some odd percent what you're saying is true, then you should be worth billions. Like, what are you doing having a YouTube channel? Like, what are you doing with a little rinky dinky website? You should have like a full on media machine built around you. You'd be unstoppable. And people are like, well, they can't do that. The establishment. Are you kidding me, dude? I mean, there are people right now who are billionaires that are doing it. Look at Kim.com. Perfect example, right? Guys who are out there who are actually doing it, who are, bucking the trends, making a fortune doing it. Now's the time. So we allow differences of opinion. So let the whatever you hear, take it for what it's worth, file it away, and see what happens. At least you're going to get intel. Jeez.
Yeah, and at least you're not going to hear us talk about domestics and politics like 24/7.
And then tell you a colon cleanse right afterwards. I know this news is making you constipated with worry. To ease your troubles, here, try Super Cleanse 3000. Super Cleanse 3000. The only colon cleanse designed to blow your ass away. Unclog yourself with Super Cleanse 3000. All proceeds goes to the victims of Hurricane Katrina. Wait, Hurricane Katrina? Yes, Hurricane Katrina. I thought it was over. No, it's not. It's still going on.
It's
Okay.
back again.
Yeah.
Some of the houses haven't been fixed yet, B.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta love it. We're
here's one.
Aren't we supposedly the richest country in the world when we still haven't fixed? There's still whole neighborhoods in New Orleans that aren't even fixed.
Yes, we are, and let me clarify that. Okay, that when you count and consumer debt as part of the GDP, we are the richest nation on earth.
You're right about that. My God, we probably have a $50 trillion, $200 trillion economy if you count all that debt.
I mean, yeah. I mean, let's dive into this. So let's talk a little bit around consumers, and let's talk about credit card debt. The fact that, as we reported last month, that now taking a look at the second quarter of 2017, that credit card debt is all the way back to 2008 levels, just a tad under $1 trillion in American households with credit card debt.
That's wonderful. That's all good news, and because we're a debt nation. It's funny. All kidding aside, it's like we never learn. Okay, this is how it was in 2008. When you have an illiquid market, when you have money velocity. Look, when money velocity is as frozen as it is today, money velocity has been the lowest since 1965. You can look at all the charts you want. You can look at all the graphs you want. Go research what you want. Money velocity is absolutely tepid. There is no money being moved. Most of the stimuli is basically a circle jerk lubrication given to Wall Street so they can circle jerk their own profits. Okay? That's all it is. Now, when you look at Main Street is illiquid. Main Street is insolvent. Main Street is tapped out. So when you have illiquid markets, you're going to have the way you're going to get products to move, whether it's to buy school supplies for your kids, whether it is to put food on your table, whether it is to pay for a vacation you can't afford, buy something you want but you can't afford it. It's all going to be done on credit. So in an absence of money velocity, okay, you're going to have an increase of credit and massive credit usage. We're exactly where we were right before the 2008 collapse. And just in time too, CJ, because that train's never late, bro.
Never late, never late. And in fact, we witnessed as of Friday that we finally have eclipsed that $20 trillion debt as a country.
Yes. Woohoo! I love it. 20 trillion in debt. Love it.
$20 trillion. So think of how much that contributes to our GDP.
Yeah, that's a lot towards the GDP according to Mark Zuckerberg's math.
Yeah, and what's amazing about this? Yeah, go ahead.
Math. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they reconcile, but the daily treasurer statement from Thursday to Friday. So Thursday it was kind of lingering around 19,844 billion, right? Yeah. So in one day, the debt jumped almost $318 billion in one day. So Friday, when they closed out their treasury statement, we eclipsed in a little bit, went over $20 trillion. So $20,126,392 million in U.S. debt.
Woo!
Congratulations to us.
I'm proud to be an American, even though in the land I'm free. Something, something, something. I'm so in debt up to my elbows and knees. Just ridiculous, man. It just goes to show. I mean, and the worst part about it, CJ? The majority of this debt is held outside by foreign creditors. Okay.
Yep.
And the worst thing ever is that when you have a system set up like that, the foreign creditors have you by the balls, the proverbial balls. Okay. So people say, well, look at China. They got debt out there. They're blowing bubbles. Blah, 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 blah. Their debt is regional. It is not systemic. Nobody outside of China holds China's debt. They can hit the button, purge the whole thing, reset it, back the yuan by gold, and voila! Here comes the new multipolar world. Done. What can we do? Nothing. Nothing. And that's what's sickening to me. Nothing. Unless the masses of adolescents, that are masquerading as adults, wake up. There is no solution unless we wake up as a country and begin to deal with it. Please, folks, please start getting and educating yourself in cryptocurrencies. RemainCalm.net is going to have a crypto school up. That's going to be great. Start educating yourself in gold, in silver, and how to acquire hard assets, how to create businesses that would thrive and survive no matter what the economic situation is, how to really get ahead of this, because it's important for you to develop these skills. I don't know what it's going to look like. I was very hopeful in the beginning of the year, and see, you and I were having this conversation before we went live, man. It's like, we
Right.
went to 2017, roaring and happy, like, wow, man, this is going to be some great change. And now we're seeing all the roadblocks. I'm seeing, like, the brain drain occurring at the White House. I mean, Bannon's out, and there's talks of Tillerson probably going to step out. It's the brain drain. And and Rex Tillerson's a smart man. He was CEO of ExxonMobil, which basically he could have been a president of a small country. That's how big ExxonMobil is. And one of the smartest guys in the room. And if he leaves, I mean, what's left? Jared Kushner. He's going to save us, CJ.
The Kush.
The Kush is going to save us. Jared of Arabia to the rescue. That's all we got. America's hope will rest on the coattails and the skinny jeans of Jared Kushner. He's the only one that can help us. God help us. Oh my God. I'm sorry, folks. I'm a little glum today. It's just, I don't know what it is. This is this feeling hanging in the air. Anyway, it looks like our cohort, Jim Rickards. Jim, I hate crypto Rickards. Jim, I gotta have a talk with you one day. I need to set you straight, buddy. I love you, man. But this is anyway. But you're right on the money here.
Yeah, he's got the cryptos off, but he does have the blockchain and its transparency and how it's going to change a lot of things. And James Rickards, I know that you've read his books before, V. I know that I have. He's been a guest. In part, James was a part of a forensic expert team that was able to go in and take a look, post 9/11, to really dig in to see financially what happened and to determine that it truly was kind of a economic event that occurred as well. And now he has penned a letter to President Trump. You can read it on his website, the Daily Reckoning. But he speaks a lot of truth in regards to this. Is the pure fact that when you take a look, a lot of the messaging that's coming out, whether we like these organizations, whether we hate these institutions, they are all kind of coming up with the same messaging, from the United Nations to the IMF. And that's the fact that a new global reserve currency is needed. And there's a lot of discussion, like he has in this letter, in regards to a currency called the special drawing rights, or the SDR. And so now we're learning about what that may potentially look like when the IMF moves to the SDR, to this open ledger system, if you will. In fact, it's been announced that the UK Standard Chartered Bank will start issuing SDRs as early as January 1 in 2018 to potentially replace the US dollar, and then that will accelerate when other nations see this transparency, when they see the blockchain technology, this open ledger, if you will, that's going to provide the transparency that the control system hate, that the bankers hate, the Federal Reserves hate. They don't want to have this open ledger system that's completely open sourced, open, transparent. And like he states in this letter, you can't stop it. And you've said this numerous times that there's no way of stopping the blockchain technology. It's not centralized. It cannot be controlled within a government, within an institution. And this major shift is occurring. And Jim is kind of trying to sound the alarm bells to Trump. And I think Trump already knows this, that this is going to occur. And that moment is right around the corner, V.
Yeah, good article, brings out a lot of key points here. The only thing is that what Jim's doing is that he's kind of reading somebody else's mail. And what I mean by that is this: SDR is never in a million years going to be a world reserve currency of nothing. It's a joke. Who's issuing it? The IMF. Who makes up the IMF? Save for China, it is the collection of the most broke and solvent nations on the planet: the U.S., the UK, the Eurozone, and Japan. Okay, that's who makes up the IMF. It is the club of the impoverished. They're not going to be calling the shots. Okay, there's not going to be a. I can see the SDR. Now you might say, where are the SDRs going to fit in? Well, the SDR could possibly fit in a non-dollarized world as some sort of a trade settlement for the United States, for Canada, and for some European, possibly even British nation, for and probably even for England. Okay, for Britain. I could see it for that. But the SDR having any sort of pull in the East with China, with Russia, that is going to be nil. They're not going to allow it. They're not going to let it happen. And again, if you look at the club of the impoverished with the giraffe-necked woman called Christine Lagarde in the center of at the helm of this, okay, the IMF for the last 3 years has been funded by China. Traditionally, it was supposed to be the United States. But the U.S. is so broke, spelunking throughout the world, taking out horrible dictators who dare bring their country to a first world standard, i.e., Muammar Gaddafi in Libya and all these other wonderful ideas of spelunking we do in the Ukraine as well as in Syria. The IMF has gotten no money from the United States in the last almost 3 years. So the last 3 years, China's been funding it, okay? And China, that's why Christine Lagarde says don't be surprised if the IMF's office gets relocated to Beijing. If it goes to Beijing, it's going to be acquired by the much more powerful bank. How I know it's much more powerful? Well, who did the IMF borrow money from in order to operate the last time? The what? What bank is that, CJ? The AIIB.
Yep.
So who's the AIIB? The Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. That is going to be the new big swinging gorilla on the block. Okay, that's the big swinging monkey on the block is the AIIB. All right, and they're the ones who are going to be calling the shots. I can see the IMF is going to have some sort of role. I don't see it. It's not going to be the powerful organization that a lot of people are calling it to be. It's not going to be some SDR. They're issuing SDR bonds. Yeah, they're issuing SDR bonds in China. Doesn't mean China is going to bend over backwards to allow these idiots in suits to call the shots. All right, they're not going to do that. They're issuing SDR bonds in China maybe because they're testing out. Hey, when our economies finally overheat and go bust, we're going to use this SDR bond. Okay, and issue it to you so you can buy it because you wouldn't buy U.S. Treasuries anymore. Something's got to replace the U.S. dollar. So they're experimenting right now with two things. Number one, they're experimenting with SDRs, okay, and being able to substitute U.S. dollars for SDRs on a trade settlement for the world. And what they're trying to do is this. At the same time, have an SDR bond used for trade settlement or an SDR type currency or whatnot used for trade settlement amongst westernized nations, while at the same time having a devalued by 40 to 60% domestic U.S. dollar to be used by the masses. Or B, the answer B is they have two currencies. One is a domestic dollar, okay, and the other is an internationalized trade settlement dollar you won't have access to. I think guys like Jim Willies made it very clear on stuff like this before. Jim's talking about it. London Paul's talking about it. I've spoken about it. Now people say, "Well, V, how's two currencies going to work?" I don't see that working, V. I've never even heard of it working, V. Cuba, for those that don't know, is a country that currently has two currencies. They have a domestic peso that they pay their workers with, and an international trade peso that's pegged to the dollar. Okay? You don't have access to the international peso. You'll have access to the worthless domestic pesos, which people get and they swap out for dollars. Okay? That's how it works in Cuba. So the picture I see here, they're getting, they're getting Jim's need to open his horizons. We got to pull back his blinders a little bit and see a bigger world, buddy. It's a bigger world out there with China. These guys with suits, you spend too much time with these Western idiots, these Western circle jerkers. You're going to have a Western viewpoint of what the emerging world order would be. The guys in the IMF do not call the shots. They haven't called the shots in quite some time. The G7 is a joke. Okay, I call them the Insolvent Seven. It is a collection of the most broke, impoverished countries on the planet. Screw them. Anyway, that's what I see going down, Siege.
Yeah, and there's no doubt, V, when you take a look in part of the cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, they're purposely trying to shut down, to slam the price, manipulate it the same way that they did forever with the metals. And a great example of that is the fact that we had a lot of rumors coming out that's saying that, hey, look, there's going to be major crackdowns in China and all these things occurring.
Yep. Yep.
And now they're coming back and saying, wait a minute, this isn't happening. Where's this information coming from?
Exactly. And what did we say, Siege? What did we say? What did I say just yesterday? Any sort of crackdown will create the greatest demand for cryptos. BTFD, buy the friggin' dip. I just said it yesterday, and voila! Here it is. As noted earlier, Bitcoin has been unable to meaningfully reverse the drop that followed reports that the Chinese authorities were planning to shut down local digital currency exchanges as part of a crackdown on ICOs. The news, which first surfaced in China's state-owned Kaijian media network, which presumably has sources deep within the Chinese government, sending Bitcoin spiraling lower as investors fear that at 23% of the market's overall trading volume might soon evaporate. Yet days later, the country's largest digital currency exchange say they've heard nothing from Chinese authorities. And yet, in another development that will certainly have market participants scratching their heads, the daily trading volume of the Chinese Bitcoin markets are suddenly surged to nearly double of that of the US market. However, unlike in past instances when Chinese volume overtook the US, Bitcoin in China continue to trade at about $200 discount to the US traded pairs. The premium persisted for years until the imposition of strict regulations and policies on Bitcoin trading platforms in 2016. And this is what they're saying. The Hu Bing, a researcher, says the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences and Institutes and Finance, blah, 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 they haven't heard of any sort of crackdown. And this is what they're saying. They goes, what? What crackdown? You know, it's funny to see this, CJ, have this news come out, and then boom, this. And how many people took that news of China cracking down on ICOs and went on the air and went on their articles in the blogospheres and started saying, "Ooh, see, cryptocurrencies are coming to an end. It's all over." Not understanding blockchain technology, of course.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And then the fact that more and more countries are signing on board, are starting to understand. Finland's a great example.
Yeah,
Where their actual they have released now. It's not an official stance in regards to how they feel, but they've released a statement basically stating that quote unquote Bitcoin is a monopoly ran by a protocol, not by managing organizations. Familiar monopolies are run by managing organizations with discretion to determine and then change prices, offering, and rules. Monopolies are often regulated to prevent or at least mitigate their abuse of power. So basically, they're going on to say, listen, this isn't our official stance on Bitcoin. However, it cannot be regulated. And that's
correct.
their stance on it because they understand the power of it, the design of it, and not only Bitcoin, Bitcoin, several of the other cryptos that are involved. So, and many states or many countries are falling on to understand this. It's happening around the globe right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely correct, man. It is happening around the globe, and I'll tell you, man, it's unstoppable. And even now, we keep saying this here on this broadcast. We need to go to the dark web. We need to go to the dark web. We need to go to the dark web to get away from it all. And here we go. Tor and more. Bitcoin market open bazaar adds features in 2.0 beta release. The team behind the open source Bitcoin powered marketplace, Open Bazaar, has published a beta version of its forthcoming 2.0 release. The launch, announced over the weekend, delivers a number of additions that developers outlined back in February. Among these is integration with the Onion router Tor network. Okay, and for all those people, please do not get the gold USB, plug it into your computer, and then cry about the fact that I can't access my Coinbase accounts. You're not supposed to. Why are you having your cryptos in Coinbase stored there? What is wrong with you? Out of all the exchanges, the one that I trust the least is Coinbase. I keep stuff in Coinbase for a nanosecond before I move it into my own wallet. I use it as an acquisition thing. Coinbase is designed to keep the Tor network out. Why? Because you have people monitoring it and looking into it. That's why. So you need to go into the dark web, learn about it. Open Bazaar. Here we go. Enabling anonymous access to the marketplace network as well as upgrades intended to boost the overall uptimes to access to the storefronts. Folks, here you go. Open Bazaar. It's basically the Amazon on the dark web. And now it's completely integrated to be on the dark web, and it's completely integrated to work with your Tor browser. Get yourself a gold USB, get yourself your Bitcoin wallet, pop it into your computer, and go do some shopping. They have a plethora of things in Open Bazaar. So go for it. I mean, am I right or am I right, Siege?
Yeah, I mean, there's already pretty good sites out there right now, but I have not been to Open Bazaar yet, but I'm excited to go check it out and see what's there. So the entire Tor network and the information that is there is just tremendous. I mean, so them adding a kind of a location to go in and shop and utilize your cryptos and having that Amazon effect that shoot, if it could even be peer-to-peer that you can place things on them and sell them items yourself, that would be even better.
Please.
So
I'm gonna sell my rims on Open Bazaar. It's a brilliant idea. I like it. And now with
but there's going to be a lot more disruptive things coming, like these programs coming on board, coming onto it, and so again, as far as the dark web, the deep web, whatever you want to refer to on, just navigate through it. There's a lot of information there, news, blogs, everything else, and it's definitely going to be expanding and growing in the future.
Absolutely. And with that being said, CJ, that brings us to the end of the broadcast. We have what do we got lined up for today, bro?
So today is the Terror Trading Dome with Dex. So Dex should be on 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Absolutely. With that being said, folks, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Again, subscribe to the channel. Check out our sponsors, My Gold USB and My Freedom Now, all together on one shopping site, remaincalm.net. Get your credit fixed, get out of debt, get funding if you need the money to get cryptos and whatnot. Get your gold USB to surf the dark web. Go do some shopping on Open Bazaar. Use the Brave browser, whatever the heck. Anyway, go to, I was going to say Reality Bites. remaincalm.net. I'm still not used to that, what these guys have done. remaincalm.net. remaincalm.net and tell them the gorilla sent you. With that, we're over and out. Take it away, Siege.